Phil Grandy is a career businessman who's also been an entrepreneur all his life. He has used his business skills to take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine for the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grandy has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions. And you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
To many, the stock market is shrouded in mystery. When do I buy? What is the stop loss? Should I invest on earnings? Is it time to sell? At Phil's Gang, we want to clear the investing fog for you. We want to make you an educated, confident investor and ultimately a profitable investor. For over 15 years, Phil Grandy and the Phil's Gang team have been dedicated to teaching, guiding, and answering your investment questions. And with our new Phil's Gang website and customer support messaging system, we are available when you need us to answer your questions. philsgang.com can be accessed from your home, office, or any location where internet is available. Plus, you never miss a beat because all material is archived. From beginner to seasoned investor, Phil Grandy has been helping thousands of people learn about the stock market and producing smart investing strategies. Whether you're preparing for retirement or looking to secure your financial future, learn, invest, and profit with Phil's Gang. That's philsgang.com. For more information, call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
To be able to just get my son to St. Jude and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Performing technical analysis is no easy task for any investor unless conducted with a professional stock charting service. At Phil's Gang, we offer a choice of high-power, color-coded stock charts, all seamlessly integrated, so you could tackle the market the way you want to. The Phil's Gang Max Best 1000 Stock Charts. From Phil's Gang are high-performance HTML5 web-based charts that work on any browser and device, so you could put live streaming data and fully interactive charts in the palm of your hand. Phil Grandy designed the MV software to have the best features, and so far the early reviews have been great. You can plot charts on an intraday basis as well as on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. There is also a built-in watch list that you can customize to your liking. For more information, go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264. Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? Reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with philsgang.com, you will be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, philsgang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil's Gang. I got a great opportunity for those people who are disgusted with the market, who don't have time to learn. What you do is follow me in the exchange-traded fund that I'm invested in. Every day you go to my site and you can see exactly what I am doing with my investment, and you can mimic me. Nobody else dares do that. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
If we would have said that almost $4 trillion in the stock markets has been created, everybody would have laughed at us. They would have said, "Oh, that's ridiculous." But that's what it is. So,
And that's Trump taking credit again for $4 trillion in the stock market. That is a huge mistake to do that. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country off the Wall Street Radio Network. That is insane, especially after Friday. See, what he doesn't get is the central banks around the world, including our central bank, they're the ones that prop the stock market up. They just print money and prop it up. At any time, it can come to an end. This whole rally that he's been involved with since he's been president is all fake. We saw what happened on Friday. A handful of stocks collapsed. Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, Facebook, Google. I mean, this market is so thin. I don't think he understands that. The central banks, they said they're going to buy another $3.6 trillion worth of stocks just to keep the market propped up this year because there's no earnings, there's no growth. In other words, what you hold stock markets up with good earnings, good growth, economic growth. That's not what's doing it. It's the central banks propping up the market. Now, Friday's flash crash, like in 2010, was caused by a bunch of hedge-funded computers triggering a sell order. $100 billion worth of tech stocks, bang, hit the sell order. Now you got to understand that Amazon lost $17 billion in 5 minutes. And then, of course, you had other stocks like semiconductors drop in sympathy with Amazon. See, the problem for these alphabet stocks, they only make up 6% of the S&P 500, but they make up 40% of the S&P performance. That's very dangerous. That's incredibly dangerous. And when you see the gains that have been made since 2009, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The NASDAQ, like 320% in gains. The Dow, 250%. The S&P, like 240%. Not exact, but close. That's incredible. But it has nothing to do with profits. And if you take 5 stocks or a handful of stocks, Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, Facebook, Google, they're the ones that are holding this whole stock market up. So the value that he said that he created since he's been president is all fake. There's no value there. It was on the hope that he was going to do infrastructure, on the hope he was going to get his tax cuts, on the hope they're going to repeal. That can be taken away just like on Friday in split second. I don't think he understands that. Now, what started this whole chain reaction, this flash crash, was this whole thing started. Remember, the banks were selling off. The banks always lead the market higher. The banks, the financials have been very, very weak, very weak. And when you have a stock market going up and the bank's very weak, that is very dangerous because it's the bank stocks that support the whole stock market. When you have a stock market rallying, but the leadership's not coming from the banks, and the leadership is coming from these 5 alphabet stocks, that's very dangerous. And well, you saw what happened. So when the UK finished their vote, and they were very disappointed, the euro sold off. It collapsed. The dollar surged. So here in the U.S., the plunger team says, let's take advantage of this. Because every time the dollar goes up, supposedly that is a signal that a strong dollar, the yield goes up at the same time, the strong yield, that's telling you have a strong economy. Well, that's not what happened. We just happened to have that day the election finished and people were disappointed and they all dumped the euro and the dollar started to rally. Not because the economy is good, not because the economy is fantastic. So they took that and said, let's embellish it. Let's use that to prop the market up even higher, to push these stocks up even higher. In fact, let's start telling everybody when Wednesday comes of next week, this week here, Wednesday, we're going to raise rates because the economy's so good. And then everybody got in on play. They just started to jump in.
The consumer balance sheet looks great.
I mean, it's all we kept on hearing. The consumer looks great. Economy looks great.
A CBS News poll out today finds that 60% of Americans think the economy is in good shape.
Why? Because they're looking at the stock market. That's why. They equate the stock market with the economy. And that's a mistake. The stock market has nothing to do with the economy. You don't wake up in the morning and say, let's buy the economy. We say, let's buy stocks. It has nothing to do with the economy. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. So they decided that let's embellish. Let's say that we're going to start talking about the rate hike for Wednesday, and that proves again the dollar's going to go up even more. And the yields are going to go up even more. So we can say, look at this. Look how strong the economy. And that's what everybody's saying now. This whole thing turned around, reversed. So now the banks are soaring. And by the way, over a week ago, I told my gang to get into banks. And I thought this was going to happen. And we anticipated, and it did happen. So now you got the banks going up that were going down. Now you got the banks going up. People are taking their money out of the gold market, putting it into the banks. They're also taking their money out of gold, and they're buying cyclical stocks like Ford and GM and Caterpillar and Eaton, Honeywell. So this whole transition, all because we got the rally of the dollar and the yield that came off the UK rally, the election. Will this hold? No, it's not going to hold because it's not true. When you start saying that the economy is terrific, then you look at the data and you have the highest national unfunded debt in history, $200 trillion, with the highest consumer debt of $60 trillion, with the highest household debt of $13 trillion in history, with the lowest increase in consumer credit going back 6 years. And then you have the highest credit delinquency since 2012, the highest subprime auto loan delinquency since 2009, the highest student loan delinquencies ever, with the highest commercial and business bankruptcies since 2008. We have the weakest manufacturing and construction spending since 2011 and the lowest annual pay growth in 20 years and 5 straight months of decline in durable good orders and productivity. And yet they're telling us things look good. Isn't anybody looking at the fundamentals? No, they don't care. They're looking at the stock market. And so they know they can tell everybody the stock market's doing great. Everything's doing nicely. When it's not. So gold, don't worry, if you lost money in gold, it'll come back. Because the reasons why gold went down aren't there. Not there. The economy is not doing well. So be patient. We'll talk more about your gold when we get back and stocks. We'll be right back after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. To many, the stock market is shrouded in mystery. When do I buy? What is the stop loss? Should I invest on earnings? Is it time to sell? At Phil's Gang, we want to clear the investing fog for you. We want to make you an educated, confident investor and ultimately a profitable investor. For over 15 years, Phil Grandy and the Phil's Gang team have been dedicated to teaching, guiding, and answering your investment questions. And with our new Phil's Gang website and customer support messaging system, we are available when you need us to answer your questions. Phil'sGang.com can be accessed from your home, office, or any location where internet is available. Plus, you never miss a beat because all material is archived. From beginner to seasoned investor, Phil Grandy has been helping thousands of people learn about the stock market and producing smart investing strategies. Whether you're preparing for retirement or looking to secure your financial future, learn, invest, and profit with Phil's Gang. That's philsgang.com. For more information, call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? You know, reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with philsgang.com, you will be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, philsgang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Celebrating 18 years as the leader in investing and trading education.
Following your system has been fantastic.
Yeah, I really appreciate the work you do. You're really an inspiration.
I have learned so much.
You're really one of the best I've ever heard. I've been with you for about a month and a half now, and I'm already up 7%.
Financial education is, in many respects, the most important education you can get, and that's what they're getting from your show.
You guys have always been great on the service side.
I have so much more confidence in when I'm in my trading.
Phil, keep up the good work.
I've been in this business for 45 years, and you are the best.
And I've been following you, I guess, about 9 months right now, and you've just done a great job.
Join the gang, and you'll never regret it.
If you're serious about securing your financial future, then contact philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Hi, Phil Grandy here. I want to reach out and thank all the listeners in the Boston area for listening to Phil's Gang Show on AM 1260, The Buzz.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. We're offering the most powerful stock charts available on the market. The Max Best 1000 charts. Now, the difference between these charts and all the other charts is this follows the money. Yes, it gives you a buy-sell signal. I know you're going to say, well, they all do. No, not true. The difference with the Max Best is they follow the important money, the hedge funds, the biggest banks, the 401ks, the pension fund managers. That's the big difference. They're not following the emotion. That's what most charts do. They follow the money. That's what MaxVest does, follows the money. Check it out. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Oh, and the chart is low as $19.95 a month. For more information, just go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-GANG. We will see you on the charts.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264. Welcome back. You're not a regular listener to Phil's Gang? What, are you nuts? Listen to Phil Grandy and check out philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
You look at the economic news, which nobody is other than on your show. If you look at the it's spectacular. I mean, more people are working. Unemployment claims are way down. Manufacturing's at 3-year highs. The U6 employment rate, the real unemployment rate, has gone down 1% since the beginning of the year, which is huge.
In about 4.5 minutes, we'll open this market and we're going to go up.
All record highs. Look at this.
Look at that.
Record highs.
They will all be at record highs.
Unbelievable. Welcome back to Phil's Gang. That was the cheerleading the morning after the UK had their elections. Big disappointment. And the euro dumped. It just collapsed. And the dollar soared. The minute the dollar soared, pre-market in the morning, early in the morning, they got their cheerleaders to come out and say that kind of stuff, which is not true. None of it's true. I'm not going to go over it again. I just went through all the credit card delinquencies and everything else. None of that is true, what they're saying. They're there to pump the market up. So then they, at the end, later in the day, is when they came back out and started to pump. Oh, Wednesday, this week, we're going to have a rate hike. And the only reason why we're having rate hikes is because the economy is doing so fantastic, which is not true. So anytime that you can put out a fake narrative that the dollar is strong and the yields are higher, normally that means that connects with a stronger economy. And then investors buy into it. And that's what they did. They sucked everybody in. And as the market was rallying, here we have 5 stocks which make up 40% of the market performance and only 13% of the profits. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? That's like saying that you have a bridge that you built, a 3-ton bridge, and you're holding it up with 2 2x4s. That's how fragile the market is. It's so fragile that the central banks around the world are the only reason why they keep this market going up and up and up, because everybody's addicted. The elitists in all the countries around the world, the economic elitist establishment, they're so addicted now to this wealth, they can't stop, like a heroin addict. But at any moment, these central banks can cause a crash. And you saw what happened on Friday. That's the beautiful thing about charting. You shouldn't be afraid. Trump is pushing the market higher. And if they're going to keep printing money to throw in the market to even push it even higher, let them do it. And all you need to know is when to get out of the stock. Now, there's some great opportunities since Friday. You should buy the exchange-traded fund, XES. That's a basket, and I've told you this before, a beautiful basket of oil stocks, XES. Remember, these stocks are starting to go back up again. See, they're coming back and they're getting the laggers. I told my gang, you ask any gang member, for the last 4 weeks I've been saying we're going to start buying bank stocks because they are going to move. No question about it. They're going to rotate into bank stocks. They're going to rotate into oil stocks. They're going to rotate into retail stocks. We'll find those groups and let's start buying the banks. And we did before anybody else. And we saw on the charts when it started to turn green. And it worked. So now we have XES, which is an excellent opportunity. And that is the oil sector stocks. That's a good basket. And then we have XRT, which is another exchange-traded fund. XRT, which is the retail. Both of those are getting ready to break out. If they're going to keep pumping this market higher by printing money and continue to put in that $3.6 trillion to keep pumping the market even higher, they don't care about profits anymore. They could care less about profits. So all you got to know is as long as they keep printing money and putting it in, then you just got to know when to get out. And that's what I teach, and that's what my charts do. It tells you when to get out. It's color-coded. It tells you when to get out. We never knew that before. People would just hang in and hope somebody would call you and say, now's the time to get out. Now's the time to take your profits, and never did that. So here's the number, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. Call now. Join the gang. It's $39.95, and you get your free chart, which is the $29.95 value. And I'll give you that free chart so you can follow me on both XES and XRT, and there's one more, XME. So there's three of them. All exchange-traded fund. Fees are almost nothing. You don't send me any money. It's not a fund. I tell you and I show you what I bought, and then you just copy what I do. Do exactly what I do. At the end of each night, when the market's over, I do a little video. It shows you what I'm doing. So you do exactly the same thing as me. What an ideal way to accumulate wealth, especially if you're looking forward to retirement. That's a great way of doing it. There's little expense, and you're following me. I'm actually in those exchange-traded funds. So here's the number, 877-600-GANG. Call now. Join the gang and get your free chart, your color-coded chart, which is $29.95 value. Or go to my site, philsgang.com, philsgang.com, and just use the promo code, which is free MV2, and you get your free chart. Okay. So now that everybody's sitting back today, the market's down 65 points. They don't know what to do. We know what to do. We certainly know what to do. It's just to lay back in the weeds right now. Because right now, all eyes are on the bank stocks. Are they going to continue to rotate out of the big tech stocks, out of the semiconductors, and into the bank stocks? Well, I'll let you know that. My chart will let me know that, because if that's the case, they will continue turning green. If not, it turns red. It's amazing. So everybody is all wired out because of what happened on Friday with this tech crash. It means nothing. Nothing. I'll be right back after this break. 28 past the hour here at Phil's Gang. Join my gang. Get your free chart.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Even the experienced traders and investors need to keep learning to stay ahead. philsgang.com provides educational information about Phil's Gang products and services in many different ways. Daily live webinars hosted by Phil Grandy and technical charting experts help you understand and keep up with today's lively markets. Short videos, investing programs, and up-to-the-minute market alerts help you get up to speed with the market using Phil's Gang MaxVest 1000 stock charting software. We teach you an investing foundation that you seek to take the first steps towards achieving your personal financial goals. Visit philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Again, that's philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Performing technical analysis is no easy task for any investor unless conducted with a professional stock charting service. At Phil's Gang, we offer a choice of high-power, color-coded stock charts, all seamlessly integrated, so you can tackle the market the way you want to. The Phil's Gang Max Best 1000 Stock Charts. From Phil's Gang are high-performance HTML5 web-based charts that work on any browser and device, so you can put live streaming data and fully interactive charts in the palm of your hand. Phil Grandy designed the MV software to have the best features, and so far the early reviews have been great. You can plot charts on an intraday basis as well as on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. There is also a built-in watch list that you can customize to your liking. For more information, go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil's Gang. I got a great opportunity for those people who are disgusted with the market, who don't have time to learn. What you do is follow me in the exchange-traded fund that I'm invested in. Every day you go to my site and you can see exactly what I am doing with my investment, and you can mimic me. Nobody else dares do that. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus, and so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? You know, reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with philsgang.com, you will be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, philsgang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software, I particularly like the post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join the gang right now, 877-600-GANG. Get your free color-coded chart for 1 month. You get to use it for a month. It's $29.95 value. Also, you can look at the returns, okay, on the stocks that we did buy. You just go to my site. It's free. and look under where it says Phil's Toolbox, and it gives you the returns that we made using the MV2, 13%, 33%, 21%, and so on. So you can take a look at those. Now, those aren't guarantees that we're going to make the same returns going forward. I'm not saying that. Or am I saying that every gang member made those returns? What I'm saying is when the chart gave us a buy signal and then gave us a sell signal, you better get out because institutions are pulling their money out, that was the difference. It's up to you when you execute. When it turns green, then when it turns red, execute when they get out. And everybody does that differently. But it identifies for you the money going in and the money going out. And that's all you need to know because we don't really care. Look, the stock market, think about this. The tech stocks created half of the market's gains in 2017. These 5 stocks, half of the market's gains. Financials dropped. They gave back all of the gains. And so his finance was supposed to lead the market, gave all back. Until last week, till Friday, when things had a reversal. They reversed again. And that's why you want a chart. Because a chart will warn you of that reversal so you'll know you'll have your money out and get your new money in. I've got 3 exchange-traded funds. I'm inviting you to participate with me right now. So, again, all you do is go to my site, philsgang.com, use the promo word, free MV2, and you get your chart once you sign up as a gang member, or just call 877-600-GANG, and they'll sign you up and you get your chart, and then you can start following me tomorrow morning with the exchange-traded funds that I will be in, and you can see me do it, and you do the same thing. Okay, let's do this. Look, it is a disgrace. Comey. I'm not talking about Comey, a disgrace. Yes, he was the leaker, but I don't care, and you shouldn't care. Nobody cares, really. We have a retirement crisis. We have more crises in this country, and we really care about Comey and Trump, what they said back and forth to each other? What are you, nuts? We have less than 38 days, and Congress will leave. They've been diverting their attention away from repealing of Obamacare, which is a large tax cut. We need to pull that back. We need the infrastructure program put in place, but they diverted their attention away from the tax cuts and infrastructure and Obamacare repeal to talk about Comey? What are you, nuts? Let me tell you what's going on here. Let's talk about the super rich, the political and economic elitist establishment who hate Trump because he's coming in and disrupting. He's disrupting what they have been doing so nicely for the last 16 years between Obama and Trump. They've been destroying the middle class, which they've been doing for 16 years, and having Obama and Trump assist in doing that. All they had to do is fund their campaigns. They want to stop Trump. They don't want change. And they'll continue to block this infrastructure as they did under Bush and as they did under Obama. So to continue to destroy the middle class, which is the engine to our economy, America. For 16 years, baby Bush and Obama assisted the political and economic wealthy elitists in destroying the middle class. And they benefited Obama and Bush through campaign contribution and bundlers. America's falling apart. Why do you think Trump ran for president? He sees this. He sees what the super rich is doing, the elitist establishment. They're the ones who should be blamed for America falling apart. You need to understand, there was a time when these elitists, the very wealthy, the political and economic elitists, establishment, they needed the American middle class. They needed us for our roads. We built the roads. They need us for their businesses, for their communications, for their transportation. They needed us as their customers. They needed us for their overall success, these elitists. Once, they rode the same trains as you and me, the same buses as you and me. They flew on the same planes. They went to the same hospitals, same schools, these elitists. In fact, the way they look at it now, their success is directly dependent on us and on the well-being of the nation. And they knew it. That's how they used to look at it. Their success to be very wealthy depended on the middle class. Just like China right now. They're building a huge middle class. But something started to change. As China now is building a middle class, and the wealthy in China, they're so appreciative of the middle class, like we once were, but no more. The very wealthy, they don't appreciate us anymore. With the more wealth that they accumulated, these elitists, these political and economic elitists, these very wealthy people, with the more wealth they accumulated, soon they convinced themselves the working middle class were no longer needed for their continued success. Soon, the political and the economic elitists convinced themselves that they made it on their own, that their contribution to society, to their needs, and that of the middle class was wrong. Why are they contributing to them? They've done nothing. Soon, that contribution to the middle class, to society, felt more like an itch they couldn't scratch. Soon they felt it was unfair. It was really unfair to them to contribute to the middle class. What did they do, after all? Nothing. Their whole mindset changed. Even though it was the hard-working middle class that made it possible for them to build their huge fortunes, the political and economic elitist establishment, the very wealthy, have always needed the middle class to work in their factories to buy their products. Until what? Outsourcing. Both Bush and Obama should have been protecting the middle-class American jobs. Instead, both Bush and Obama were agents for the elitists and returned for funding their campaigns. Soon, Bush and Obama fast-tracked globalization, outsourcing of our jobs at a tremendous pace, shipping our jobs overseas, building factories in China, the third world countries. Matter of fact, they were such good servants, Bush and Obama, they also provided an assortment of servants for the wealthy elitists using H-2B visas. So these people were very willing to come over here and work for less than the middle-class American could afford. And infrastructure. Our infrastructure, bridge and roads, schools, airport, it's not crumbling because of lack of money. In fact, the infrastructure spending was cut under Bush and Obama from $325 billion to $235 billion, a $90 billion cut. Why? Because the elitists are saying, oh, we don't need the roads and roads and bridges anymore. I have my own jet. I have my own helicopter. I have my own yacht. What do I need the roads and bridges for? They want me to put money into infrastructure when I have my own jet and helicopter and yacht? What are you, nuts? See, Trump understood this. Trump knows it will take a staggering $3.6 trillion investment in infrastructure, or $450 billion a year to fix things, which for 16 years, the elitists said, why put the infrastructure in? I don't use it. Just get on my helicopter. I don't have to go down that road. Trump understood it. Now he's upsetting the elitists because now he wants to spend this money. They're losing control. Because, see, the elitists don't want the middle class to have those jobs because they can't get rid of the middle class that way. We'll be right back with some more stops.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
Hi, this is Ron from Washington State, and I subscribe to the Phil's Gang MV2, and I just wanted to let Phil know that right after the election, I made a $7,000 profit using the MV2 on Wells Fargo stock.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years and very much enjoy the software software program for the charts.
I've been a long-time Phil's subscriber, and I just want to recommend it to anybody out there. I think it's a wonderful tool and works very, very well.
Don't wait. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? Reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with philsgang.com, you will be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, philsgang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Even the experienced traders and investors need to keep learning to stay ahead. philsgang.com provides educational information about Phil's Gang products and services in many different ways. Daily live webinars hosted by Phil Grandy and technical charting experts help you understand and keep up with today's lively markets. Short videos, investing programs, and up-to-the-minute market alerts help you get up to speed with the market using Phil's Gang MaxVest 1000 stock charting software. We teach you an investing foundation that you seek to take the first steps towards achieving your personal financial goals. Visit philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Again, that's philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
To be able to just get my son to St. Jude and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
With Father's Day just around the corner, this is a great opportunity to show Dad or the man in your life how much you really care about them with a philsgang.com membership. For only $39.95 a month, you can give Dad the gift that keeps giving throughout the year. With the Phil's Gang membership, you will be in tune and up to the minute with the stock market. You'll know when to buy and when to short stocks. You get Phil's and true and honest market analysis and commentary. Most of all, Dad will thank you for the profits he's making with Phil's Gang. So skip the flashy tie, the fancy razor, and the overpriced golf balls, and make it a special day for Dad every day of the year with a philsgang.com membership. Go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com to sign up or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Welcome back. Are you a fan of the Phil's Gang radio show? Then you should check out philsgang.com or give them a call, 877-600-4264.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Go to the phone, 877-600-4264 or 877-600-GANG. Pick up your membership. It's $39.95 for a month, and then get your free chart, which is $29.95. Again, no cost for 1 month. And then you start following me on 3 different exchange-traded funds. You just copy what I do, mimic what I do. You don't send me money. I'm not a fund. Each day at the end of the radio show, I do a video and show you exactly what I've done, and you just follow me. We did terrific on the gas, UNG. We had about, I think, a 14% rally on one side, and then it went down about 12%. We gained like 14%, then down 12%. And again, I'm not suggesting every gang member made all of that, but what's more important is that it proved to you that the chart actually works. And I sit here and assist you. You do nothing without me. All I ask you, take some of that money you make and send it to St. Jude. We've been doing this now for almost 18 years. Now, I just explained to you that this whole thing about infrastructure, they make it sound like we have no money. Now, I've said myself that when you pay $253 billion a year in interest only on the $20 trillion national debt, you have nothing left for anything else. Yeah, that's provided you don't want to print it, but they can print it. The central banks around the whole world, that's all they do every day is print. They want the markets to go up around the world, they go up. They want the markets to go down, they go down. That's why you want a chart. Stop listening to the BS on TV, on these financial shows. They give you these stupid reasons why you should buy a stock. There's only one reason why you buy a stock. There's a couple reasons. It has nothing to do with the garbage they tell you. Nothing to do with it all. Here, listen to this.
And one of your picks tonight is Oracle. Why?
Well, I think that the market over the past 7 years has really been searching for secular growth stories and leaving behind those cyclical stories that have been undervalued. And Oracle has been making a long-term transition from being, selling software to people to selling software as a service. And we feel like that finally that transition is in place, and you might start seeing some top-line growth.
How stupid is that? That's not why you buy the stock. Oh, it's transitioning from top line to bottom. No, is BlackRock, is T. Rowe Price, is Goldman Sachs, are they buying this or aren't they? No, they're not. It's absolutely red, so we would not touch it. My gang would not touch it. But what we're waiting for is 3 good exchange-traded funds. As a matter of fact, even an individual stock, if you sign for the gang right now, you can follow me on IBM. IBM looks like it's going to be a real winner. But just follow me. You don't do anything unless I do it. But, we've talked about today, and we're running out of time, we talked about the reasons that the elitists, the economic and political elitists, the very wealthy in this country, they hate middle-class America. They want one class, the rich and the very poor, because then they have total control. When you're poor and you're a debt slave, they control you. That's what they want. The last thing they want is Trump coming in and meddling around and doing infrastructure, because that creates 3.5 million jobs. They don't want that, because then, guess what? They've got money. They're not debt slaves. This is crazy. So Trump recognized this. So now he gets in, and now they're going to block him. I mean, can you imagine talking about Comey when we got a crisis where we need to put people back to work? We got lousy jobs, service jobs. Let's get people back to work in manufacturing and drilling, high-paying $54 an hour jobs. No, they want to talk about Comey. So he ran for president. So now they're going to make sure he doesn't get that infrastructure bill. Now, let me tell you another thing is going to be a problem. Large tax cuts. Without passing a large tax cut, you're screwed. Remember, to make stocks go up, you want a large tax cut. See, tax cuts, big tax cuts, improve incentives to work, to save, to invest. Well, boy, the elitists, they don't want to hear that. The wealthy don't want to hear that. That means that the middle class is going to maybe go up the ladder. We got to push them down. So we're not going to let Trump pass that tax cut, because once you pass that tax, boy, it improves the incentive to work. Now, you know that this whole country is set up and designed with a welfare system. It's all set up to disincentivize work, not incentivize it. So Trump is trying to put this big tax cut, because once you get this tax cut, soon what happens is yields on that dollar, the yields in the dollar start getting stronger. And when the yields on the bonds start going up and the dollar gets stronger, that indicates a strong economy. People in Europe, they dump their euros, they come over here and they start buying stocks. People start consuming. Consumption starts increasing. Consumption is 70% of our economic GDP, and the elitists don't want that to happen. They're doing just fine, the elitists. They're doing fine. They're making more money than they ever made. See, that's what they don't like. So no tax cut. Here's the real problem. When you start doing what Trump wants to do, he is going to spend, Obama spent $600 billion more a year than he took in. That's a problem. That causes inflation. That causes the dollar to go down, the yields to go down. That connects with a weak economy, weak jobs, weak everything. Trump says he's going to triple that. He's going to, instead of spending $600, he's going to spend $1.8 trillion. Now, his idea how to catch up so there's no inflation, so the dollar doesn't drop, he says, I'll do tax cuts. And that way, when I do big tax cuts, corporations are going to take that money, all that savings, they're going to plow it in, back into their companies. Capital investment, productivity will increase, wages will go up, people will consume. But the elitists aren't going to let him. Look, you know why they stopped the Obamacare? Remember, they're supposed to repeal it? Because there's over $1 trillion in tax cuts they want to claw back. What he did, Obama, with Obamacare, hid in there $1 trillion in tax hikes. Tax hikes. So part of the tax cut, the mega tax cut, is to repeal Obamacare and claw those tax hikes back. And then cut even more. So corporations will invest. And then when they start investing, see, CEOs want to see evidence of a strong yield, a strong dollar. And when you see yields and a dollar strong, then you see strong economic GDP. You see the economy growing 3.5%, 4%, not the 0.7%, not the 1.8%. Then they plow those profits back into the capital investment, increasing productivity and increased wages and savings. Look what they did to try to screw us out of savings. The savings, they said to the banks, look, banks, no more. We want you to cut savings rates from 5%, 4% down to almost nothing so people won't save. Put savings in your bank. Because, again, they say what we'll do is we'll let you borrow money at 0% instead from the central bank. How's that? You go over to the central bank, go across the street and borrow money from them free. And that way there you drop your interest rate. So when people come in with their savings passbook, they say, how much will you give me for my $100,000? You say, oh, about 0.1%. The guy's not going to save. He's going to take his money and go speculate, which is even worse. And that's what they've been doing. They've been making sure people don't save. And it's that savings you need for small businesses to grow their businesses, to grow jobs. So Trump is going to get stopped with his infrastructure. He's going to get stopped on his big tax cut. They're going to make sure nothing happens this year. But what will you and I do with my chart? When it turns red and the market starts to collapse, guess what? We will be out or we will sell short. If it starts turning green, if the central banks come in and know what's going on, there's no infrastructure, there's no tax cut, so they're going to come in with $13 trillion, or $3 trillion to push the market up even higher. But we'll be ready. So here's the number, 877-600-GANG. Get your free chart right now and follow me. Do exactly what I do. And no, when I say run like hell, you run like hell.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make my dreams.
Even the experienced traders and investors